everyone, welcome back to my channel. Glad to have you back. For those of you that are new, my name is Laurence and I talk in this channel about relationship and dating advice. Today we're going to be talking about what are the components that are needed to have a deep and lasting attraction with someone, and also what are the 4 stages of importance in a relationship that needs to be present in order to have a successful relationship. I first heard about this concept about the 4 stages of importance from Matthew Hussey, and I have to say that I really agree with his theory. That is why I will go through that theory in this video, and I will bring you my own unique point of view as well. Now, let's start by seeing what are the components of a deep and lasting attraction. First of all, in order to have deep and lasting attraction in a relationship, you need to have the following ingredients: chemistry, perceived value, perceived challenge, and connection. So we know what feeling chemistry and having a connection means, but let's take a look at what is your perceived value and what is your perceived challenge. Your perceived value represents all the things that you can bring to the table, like your personality or your special talents in life. It can also be the lifestyle that you have, or it can be the energy that you emanate. It can even be your social standing. And your perceived challenge represents the amount of effort that the other person needs to put in order to win you over. In that sense, your value has a price, since what you have to bring to the table does not come for free, because your value has to be earned by the person you are dating, and you need to evaluate if that person is willing to show up and to contribute at the same level that you are prepared to show up and contribute in a relationship. That point is so important because it is so easy to form an opinion about someone extremely quickly without knowing anything meaningful about them. And when you are doing that, you are basically basing yourself on external factors. What happens then is that you end up giving undeserved credit to that individual without actually knowing if that person is who you idealize them to be. The truth is, you have no facts to base yourself on to give that person value or to put them on a pedestal. And your judgment probably comes from insecurity, as you are fantasizing about what you want to believe this person is, rather than waiting for them to show you who they are. No, people can sense desperation and insecurity, and they will treat you very differently as soon as they notice how desperate you are. Because when you come from a place of neediness and insecurity, you give credit to someone that they do not deserve yet. For example, you might think that a man would be a good boyfriend or that a woman will be a good girlfriend because the sex is good, but that does not give any indication on how that person will be capable of handling a relationship. Fact is, when you just met someone, you don't know if that person will be reliable or have the internal qualities you're looking for. That is why you should not assume things based on one great date or external factors such as the person's achievement. You can be impressed by someone without having to give them instant value or assuming that they would be a good partner based on external factors alone. It is all about not giving someone too much credit too quickly. Now, let's talk about the 4 stages of importance in a relationship, which are admiration, chemistry, commitment, and compatibility. These stages help to set the appropriate amount of importance and energy to each phases of a relationship. Essentially, the stages of importance are the components that needs to be present before you give a partner high importance in your life. Because in many cases, two individuals can be in love but not be compatible. What happens too often is that we give importance to someone way too soon before having analyzed if the necessary components are there. That is why it is absolutely crucial to have those 4 stages lined up before giving full importance to a relationship, because it is only when you go through all 4 stages that there will be real potential to build a strong, lasting relationship with somebody. And without having all 4, the chances of that relationship lasting are slim. Now, let's take a deep dive into the stages. The first stage of importance is admiration. And at that stage, you are admiring the other person, and you might be telling yourself, oh my God, that person is so attractive, or that person is so impressive. But at that stage, that person might not even know who you are yet. And that person should not be given any importance at that stage, as you barely know each other. And at that point, it might not be mutual. Then the second stage of importance is chemistry. At that stage, there is something between the two of you, and a mutual connection is formed. And there might be some good indicator that it could work out with someone, but you are not yet at the point in which you should give too much importance to the other person, since you still need 2 other essential components for a deep, lasting relationship to occur. Now, the third stage of importance is commitment. At that stage, you're not only saying yes to each other, but you also agree to be in an exclusive relationship. In that process, you agree on being committed to one another and what that will look like for the both of you. Although commitment is crucial to have a successful, long-lasting relationship, you should not give full importance to that person yet, as there is still one very important component missing, which is compatibility. The fourth and last stage of importance is compatibility. Truth is, it is not enough to say yes to one another, as compatibility absolutely needs to be present for a loving, long-lasting relationship to occur. And if you have a lack of compatibility in your relationship, it will definitely eventually come up to the surface, no matter how much you love each other or how much you are committed to one another. Inevitably, a lack of compatibility will lead both partners feeling miserable in their relationship. There are many ways in which you can identify if there is a lack of compatibility, but one way is by paying attention to each other's idea about how their free time and time together should be spent. For example, if one partner's idea of a good way to spend their free time is by staying at home and working on their computer every weekend, and the other partner's idea of a good way to spend their free time is by doing activity every weekend, then there is a clear lack of compatibility. Each partner should have compatible views on how they spend their free time and their time together, and have a compatible vision of what a future together looks like. Ultimately, you need to want the same things in life, and ideally, you should want to do similar activities. It is important to be on the same page about what life together looks like and what are the values of the couple, because if each person has a completely different point of view on a certain value, it will lead to disappointment down the line. For example, if one partner's idea of loyalty is to not have sex with anyone else, but the other partner's idea of loyalty is to not kiss or partake in any intimate touching and to not be emotionally cheated on, even though both partners agreed to be loyal, their definitions are not compatible. This is why asking yourself that question is so crucial. Do our value line up? And do we both want to live the same type of life? Now, to come back to the perceived value or the invisible tag price that you put on someone, the fact is, We lose our value in dating when we do not pay attention to the appropriate level of importance of each 4 stages. Once all of those 4 stages are in the mix, then you can embrace a connection knowing that the potential for long-term success is there. The lesson is that you should not prioritize or give too much importance to someone in the initial stages of dating, or miscalculate the value of any stages. For example, if you get devastated because it did not work out with this guy that you met online, but you actually never met him in person, it means you gave way too much importance to step 1, which is admiration. And by giving unearned importance to the other person from the very beginning, you will lose your value to their eyes, since they will realize that you are willing to give anything without them having to do any effort, which make your perceived challenge drop. When someone realizes that your value has no price, they will inevitably lose respect for you. So try not mixing attractiveness with value, as it does not mean that someone is really attractive to you that you should put a certain value on them. Think about this. You cannot know the value of a person as a partner until you try to be together and until you have all 4 necessary components lined up. My point here is that you should wait until you can tell that you are both committed and compatible before you give them high importance in your life. So that is all that I had for you today, and I hope those advice will help you in your dating life and in your relationships. I wish you an amazing holiday time with your family, and I'll see you really soon.